Hi, welcome back. My name is Jonas and you're watching Full Stack Designer. And today we're gonna be learning how to go from this bad 3D text effect into this amazing 3D text effect in Figma. So without further ado, let's go. Here I have a new Figma project and I prepared some sample text and a frame, an empty frame for this project. So the font I'm using is SF Pro Display and the font weight is the heaviest or the boldest one available, and the font size is 124. And you can use any font, any properties you want, but usually a really bold font works better with this. So let's begin this building the effect. Let's first just copy the layer, and by the way, if you don't know how did I copy, you just hold Option or Alt on Windows, and before you drag and hold, and then just hold, and it copies the layer. Anyway, back to the font. So before we start, we want to flatten this, so we get the shape layer actually, and not a font. So I suggest that you select your word wisely beforehand, because otherwise you have to do all of this from the get-go, from the beginning again. So now that we have a shape layer instead of font, we are going to, well, simply use a plugin called Roto. And if you don't have Roto, just go into the Figma plugin panel and search for Roto and install it. It's that simple. So here in Roto, we want to change the default settings to be horizontal -45 degrees, vertical is okay, and we want to change it from rotate to shear. The perspective is going to be 0, and the extrude amount is going to be 20. I believe was okay. Yes. So just okay. And it creates a group for the vector and hides the original layer, but we actually want the original layer to be visible, and actually we can move it inside the group with the new vector. And this is going to be the front of the text, so let's name it front, and also align it with the new extruded text layer. And actually let's rename this to Roto, so we know what is what basically. Let's center this, and if this is all you need to, you're basically done. You have 3D text, which is better than the 2D, 3D effect that you saw in the beginning. But you're probably here for the outline effect. So let's create that next. Let's just align it perfectly, like so. Set the color, the white, and add a stroke. Here it's easy. Nothing too complicated. Let's make it quite bold, and for this specific example, the stroke should be center or inside. For outside it doesn't work, you'll see in a moment why, but I'll stick to center for now, and I'll change the join to be actually a bevel. You can play with these settings to find what creates the best effect for you. So now let's fix this, or actually let me show you first what it looks like if we don't clean this up. This probably isn't the effect you are after, or if you are, well, there you go. You can also make this, but I think most of us want the clean outline instead of this mess. So let's hide the front layer for a moment, and let's just create a rectangle and move it inside the group. Oh, we can actually rename this to be the 3D text, so we know it's the group for. So now we're just going to lay it over the Roto layer, and we could actually make a duplicate of this, just so if we mess up something, we have something to fall back to. So you should favor undestructive editing whenever you can. So don't destroy your layers, because this will destroy the original layer if you mess up something. So now that we have the rectangle on top of the copied Roto layer, we can come here into the Boolean operations and choose intersect selection, and here it will create a cleaned up path from the path originally. As you can see, they are still, this isn't destructive operation, but we want to make it into destructive operation because this will allow us to it's gonna be easier to edit if we just have this. And actually let's call this Roto clean, because it's a cleaned up version, as you can see. Now we can bring the front layer back in, and now if we add a stroke into the cleaned up Roto, you can see that it looks a lot better. And let's match these. Did I use center here? Yes. So here again, you should have the same for the clean Roto, and the front use the same stroke positioning. Then they will basically look the best. But now, as you can see, we are still missing a few lines here, but don't worry, it's really simple to add. Just select the Roto clean, select the path, and then choose activate the pen tool and just draw out the missing lines, like so. Really simple. There, and one more here. Okay, good. And we could also add one here, like so. So now I think we have all the missing pieces. And now you can, you can just choose the 3D text group and play with the settings here and see what looks good inside. Then you have to adjust these a little bit, but I think we're gonna be, for this example, we're gonna be using center, and then also the join style affects the outcome quite drastically. And for this example, I think I'm gonna be using the bevel. It creates an interesting effect. The stroke 3 is okay. All right, so let's add some color here. So choose the Roto clear, and let's apply a linear gradient that goes something like this. And let's make it go from a hot pink color into a red with a hint of orange. Maybe not that much, even less. Just very little amount of orange. Actually, make it a little. Yeah, this is okay. Let's play around with the colors a little bit. I want this to be warmer. Maybe I'll... something like that. You can play with the colors more if you want to. Right, now we are still missing the extra outline that you saw in the intro. So let's also add that in. So it's really simple to do. We just copy the Roto clean layer and choose the bottom one from the copies, and then just crank the stroke like a lot, and this time move it outside. And you don't have to make it too big to make it look good. Let's try 15 this time. And now we're just going to outline the stroke like so, and we can actually delete this extra Roto clean layer. So now we have just the stroke, and we can add color to it. Let's make it nice yellow with a hint of orange, maybe something like that, and simply add another stroke to this. And I suggest you match the stroke width with the actual text. I think it looks the best. Maybe not, but I'm gonna match them anyway in this example. And now we can finally add some color to the background. Or actually, let's first make this pop a little bit by adding a drop shadow with a really large blur. Like, let's do 50. And let's play around a little bit with positioning. Do something like this, I guess, and then tone the effect down a little bit. 15% is okay. And finally, add a color to the background. So here, choose, well, actually, radial gradient. Let's do this. Something like this. And where did it? Oh, here. There we go. Something like that. And actually change the colors here. Do a nice glowing green there. And then actually I want to start from this color, go a bit darker and towards the blue channel. I mean towards the blue color. Something like that. I mean, this is a bit too saturated. This is starting to look okay in my opinion. Don't know about you, but I think this looks rather nice. Okay, this is good. And there we go. This is how to make an awesome 3D text effect in Figma. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful or interesting, please consider subscribing and leaving a like down below. Also, don't forget to check out the sample project from the description below. But now, this has been the end of this video. I hope you have a wonderful day. So, goodbye, see you next time.